What's going on, average Joes? Today, I want to talk about something fun, and that is fantasy or sci fi world you would like to live in. I just was trying to come up with ideas one day, and I think there's been a few times reading a book, I was thinking, man, it would be kind of cool to be in this place, to be where this person is that I'm reading from. So, I'm going to talk about some of the fantasy worlds that I would like to spend some time in. If you had like a magic wish and some genie or wizard or something could grant you to go into your favorite books, whatever books you want, and live in there and vacation there for, a week, a month, whatever it is, where would you go? What books would you choose? And this doesn't even have anything to do with how good the book is. If you'll even like the book, it could be a meh book, but the world and the area could just be fantastic. It goes the other way too, because I love the Banished Lands. I love Faithful and the Fallen. No way in hell do I want to go to the Banished Lands and live there. Hell no. Same with the Broken Empire. No, thank you. So this has nothing to do with how quality the books are, what the books are about. It's just the world. What world do I want to go visit, and why I would want to go visit these worlds? As I was going through my lists, I realized most fantasy worlds and sci-fi worlds I don't really want to go to. There's not a lot. There's usually a lot of doom and gloom and evilness and death, and I mean maybe it's just a product of what I read, but that seems to be somewhat of a common theme, which I guess makes for great books because the stakes are high and such. But I think it's also cool to have worlds where you're like, man, that would be cool to just kind of be there and be able to do that. So, starting things off. First, the ones I want to get out of the way are probably going to be the easiest ones to choose because for obvious reasons. That's middle grade books, and I think that's because for middle grade and kids that you try and get to read, I think writers and the most successful books are the ones where kids will be interested because it is an escape. They want to have an escape to a world that they want to go to and they just want to be a part of. Look at Harry Potter. People always go back to the Harry Potter books, whether reread or rewatch, because the world is so great. The world is just so magical and inviting. And I mean, we still put on Harry Potter ambiance music when we read or we're going to bed because it's just it's just nice. So obviously Harry Potter will be up there, but I'm going to name a different um, middle grade series, and that is Keepers of the Lost, Keepers of the Lost City. So it would be, I guess, the Lost Cities. And this series is one where it's the world that's kind of controlled by elves, or they're elves, and their lost cities are technically, I think, underground, like in the earth, but they have all kinds of ridiculous magic. There's all different kinds of abilities that you could uh, possess or be born with. They have all of these creatures. They have gnomes. They have trolls. All that stuff. There are magical creatures. There's unicorns. Not that I care about the magical creature stuff, but everything. Some of their magic is controlling or manipulating light, so they can like ride light waves to teleport somewhere, and all of their food is just sounds ridiculous. They talk about these foods where you make these truffles or make these dishes that just look really weird and colorful. I'm just picturing stuff from the scene from Hook, but then the way that when they eat them, to how it's described, how the food is just so awesome. Everybody lives for centuries. I think they're not immortal, but they live for a very long time. Nobody needs money, so there's not much of a status. You can get whatever built you want. Uh, there are, yeah, I would be interested for some of the magic. I even know what magic I would like to have, but to live in this world, I think would be really cool, really magic. The next one, this could end up bad, but I think it'd be cool. That is Scythe. So from the Arc of the Scythe, and it is a futuristic world where hundreds of years in the future, where it's almost the world is now like a utopia. They have conquered death. Nobody can die. Like if you jump off a building, which are called splatters, you die. But then as long as you have some sort of corpse left, your body can be reanimated and you're just reborn. So people die all the time and they're just brought back to life. No consequences. You don't even need a job. People only have a job as a hobby, as like something to do and purpose in life. But nobody wants for anything. And the only way to die is to be gleaned by the scythes. So the scythes, and they can just kill you at random. Some of them have their own process, And if they kill you, then your family has immunity for a year. You know, all these things. I'm not going to get into those rules. So I could still die, but if by the off chance, the 1% that don't have to die each year, I could just do all kinds of crazy stuff in the Ark of the Scythe. You could travel all over the place. You can do any sort of extreme sport, base jumping without a parachute, all these things if you just really want to go crazy, especially if it's a temporary trip, and live out that without really much consequences. And yeah, it's almost like free reign what to do, like almost like a video game, but you just avoid the sites. Next, I'm going to say Time Waves. This one is also a futuristic series. There's a lot of books like these premises to where either books about books or books about artifacts to where they're in the future or in this parallel universe, and they travel into like what the past that we know to save some sort of art relic or book or something that is going to be destroyed, and they just pull it to the future or to either preserve it or to for the highest bidder. So in Time Waves, it is a business. So to the highest bidder, somebody will pay this company to go back in time and get these relics, get whatever it is, and before they do that, they go through weeks of training of the time periods, the language, the fashion, everything like that. And also part of if you're a part of this organization, you can go to whatever time period you want as a vacation. So you can go back in time. I'm not sure if you can go forward in time, but you can go back in time, any place, anytime, and just spend a vacation there. So if I was in time ways, honestly, it would just be this is kind of a roundabout way and saying that I just want to go back in time and have the ability to spend it anywhere I want is kind of what this is. So that's why time waves would be really cool. Do a week or two in I don't even know where, but just the opposite, just the freedom to go back in time. Next, we're going to go with Dresden Files. And funnily enough, oh, wow. So every single one of mine on my list, I'm just realizing this now, it is set in a world that we know. It's either in the future or an alternate, now or something like that. I didn't pick any outright high fantasy world because those are usually the scary ones and ones you're probably going to die. But let's go with Dresden because maybe there is an alternate reality to where their magic is being used. I don't want to be in Chicago, that's for damn sure. But I think if I were to be in another city, maybe a lowly, very lowly wizard, I think would be a lot of fun. Make me a Dresden in like Spain or like somewhere else, and I'll just hang out, do small wizard things, have some fairy buddies or something like that. I think it would be cool. Maybe befriend some vampires. I don't know, but to live in that sort of world with all of these creatures and the source of magic and like a little bit of just get a little taste of magic, but not get like in deep to all the action and the wars and stuff going on could be kind of fun. Again, playing with fire might not end up alive, but I think it'd still be cool. And the last one I'm going to go with is the Expanse series, which way far in the future, there's space travel, deep space stuff, all these things. And although there's a lot of bad stuff that happens in Expanse, who didn't want to, who doesn't want to go through space travel and, go to all these different planets and moons and be able to go on these long voyages in space? I think would be really, really cool. I guess an obvious one would have been Star Wars because who wouldn't want to go to be in Star Wars universe? But that was a little too easy. So I want to take the Expanse. Also, I don't know why. There's something that appeals to me of like whenever you read these big sci-fi series or these space exploration series, it's like, okay, now we're going to go to this planet, go to this mission, and it's going to take us 3 weeks. Or it's going to take us 6 weeks to get there. And you're like, what the hell are you going to do for 3 or 6 weeks? But for some reason, I just find it cool to just be like, yeah, we're just going to be on this ship for X amount of weeks. Just bide your time, do whatever you want, prepare for the actual mission. And it just seems appealing to me, seeing stars and planets and stuff go by. I think it'd be really cool. And the more I think about it, the more it's like, well, I could also just go on a boat trip here on Earth onto one of like those repositioning cruises, where they take like a ship that's commissioned in the Mediterranean and they want to move it to the Caribbean. They actually do like reposition cruises that are like 10 days and they're a little bit cheaper. All you do is you just ride the cruise ship. There's no destinations, it's just point A to point B. Maybe I just want to do one of those. I don't know, but I think the in space exploration would be really, really cool. Even though you could get, a little bit claustrophobic depending on what the ship size you have. A lot of times they just have these tiny bunks and little space areas, kind of like a ship would. But I think that would be kind of fun. So I'm really interested to see what some of the worlds are you would want to live in, because I went through my book list several times and these are the only ones that I could actually pick out that I would actually want to be in, because like I said, the other ones are a bit dark. They're a bit grim. No way in hell am I do I want to be in any of the some of my favorite books. I mean, they're great for the books themselves, for the stories, but I don't want to live there. I'll just watch from afar. So these are the ones that I want to be a part of. It seems like I heavily favor toward the sci-fi side, which kind of makes sense because I just want to be have the advanced technology to do a whole kinds of different things. So what are some of your worlds you want to go visit, go live in, transport to whatever it is? Let me know down in the comments and we can chat about it in one of